Hello everyone, Placer County Home Whisperer, episode 15.
All right.
Yeah, I'm here with Kendra. Super excited about this interview. Here she is. We are at North Fork Chai Company. Gotta plug them because it's delicious. If you could see my design, I would show you in the coffee, but I don't think you can. Kendra and I reconnected. Well, I think we go back.
We were in each other's
20
spheres
plus years
for a while.
Yeah.
And
And again through Pamela Dance Studio, Pamelodian for life, right?
Yes.
And
I was at Pamela the first year they opened.
the first, whoa,
Right.
that's a big deal. That was
I'm
80
like
what?
an OG. 84, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's right. The first, okay, so now that's even more. You're high on my list now. That's
Okay,
insane.
Good. Okay, good. Yes.
If you weren't already.
I'm a charter member.
That's awesome. Okay, so original Pamelodian. Yay, love it. I wanted to interview Ken. Well, I asked her and she was game for it because I think she is an inspiration and she is probably the bravest person I know.
Wow.
It's true. Super brave. And we'll talk about why and why she's so interesting and what's her story and what she's all about. And I love that she's going to share it.
Thank you.
Yes. So again, Kendra, she is from, tell me about where you grew up, obviously in Auburn.
Right, obviously near Pamela. Yes, I've been in Auburn, and my parents are still in the same house, which is awesome. So went to E.B. Kane and Placer, and then went to University of San Francisco for the 4 years, and then I danced in LA for 9 years, and then I came back to Northern California because I'm a Northern California girl.
Yes, I love that. And your dad was a teacher.
Yes, at Placer
At
for
Placer.
36 years, I think.
I love that too. And then was your mom a stay-at-home mom or was she working?
Yeah, she worked usually part-time in the schools, so she was always home when I was home, which I'm very valuable.
Yes.
I value very much.
Especially later on in life. You
Yes.
realize how valuable that is.
Exactly.
I hope my kids remember that.
Yes.
I'm sure they will.
Yes.
So, any brothers or sisters?
I have 4 older brothers.
4 older brothers.
Yes. So people in Auburn tend to know the Burge family. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Now, did they all stay around here or are you guys spread out?
No, we're all spread out.
Okay.
France, Mount Hood, Oregon, Southern California, and then one's local here. And then you'll soon find out I'm a nomad. Or
Yes.
You'll soon find out.
So there we go. Nice segue.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kendra is a digital nomad. Tell us what that is.
That's the official term.
Yes, official.
So what that means is that I work remotely. So which now we all work from our laptops and phones typically, but I will up and move somewhere out of the country or into a different place in the United States and just set up shop and do
Basically set up home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then work my health and wellness business from wherever I am.
Yeah, so, and it's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
The digital nomad lifestyle, and she has a health and wellness business, and she is a plethora of information in that area.
Thanks.
So now, why I say you're so brave, we have to talk more about that story, but you call wherever you are home, and at first I was like, wow, she's on vacation every day.
Right, which is a mentality that you have to make sure doesn't stay with you every day.
And so why? Some people are listening going, why do you not?
Well, I mean, I've been in health and fitness my whole career, right?
Yes.
So exercise, nutrition, self-care is a hugely important part of me, and it's what I teach and educate others to do. So if you're on vacation mode, which is,
you eat whatever you want, stay
going out, drinking.
Forget about water, you're having beer or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
it's vacation,
exactly.
baby.
Then obviously that's not sustainable, nor is it healthy, nor is it it's not what I want to portray. I actually wrote a guide called, I don't remember what it's exactly called, but it's for healthy travel. And it's talking about how to deal with jet lag and how to deal with, packing and bringing supplements and eating out. So those are the kinds of things I want to practice and teach and have my fun and vacation too. So
yes. What I loved, I saw one of your posts, you were changing in an airport bathroom.
Yes.
Were you putting on a dress or a skirt or something and you had like tennis shoes on?
Yes.
You were just making it happen.
I had gone from some business meetings and I was going to fly straight to Bali.
Yeah.
And so my travel outfit is sweats and sneakers for warmth.
Not
and
your
comfort.
pencil skirt?
Right. So,
and your heels.
And then, when you're in any bathroom, but airport bathroom, you don't want to stand on the floor, so you have to like put one shoe in and then the other shoe in. So
it was
that's
pretty
when I
cute.
had my 2 different shoes on.
Yeah, and you're like just doing this, just going with it.
Yeah.
So you brought up Bali. Yes, you guys heard that. So you were going to Bali. So tell me all the places you've been.
So since leaving San Francisco, I left San Francisco in May of 2018, and I initially did a road trip, which wasn't actually the plan. I had a whole trip that I was going to go on, but the company went out of business. I was going to travel with a Nomad company.
Okay, let's pause right now.
Pause there.
Okay. What was the motivation to do this? You're in San Francisco. You're successful. You have a lovely life. You get up in the morning. You do your thing. You travel, a few times a year.
Right.
What was the motivation to do this?
So I was just telling my Adobe students this. I used to teach fitness at Adobe Corporate, and I just saw a bunch of them. And a lot of companies have a program where if you work 5 years, you get a sabbatical of like 5 weeks. And so I would hear about this, and people would tell me what they were doing on their sabbatical. And I decided that I wanted a sabbatical, even though I wasn't working full-time at Adobe, but because I've been self-employed most of my career, I just, will decide this is what I'm doing. So I said, well, I'm taking a sabbatical for my birthday. I had a big birthday a couple of years ago. And so I went to Cabo and rented an apartment on the beach, and it was 2-bedroom, and I invited my parents and some friends down, and so they all came and hung out with me. And it was then that I met people who were nomadic travelers working remotely, and I said, this is what I want to do, because travel has always been a passion of mine since I backpacked in Europe right after college. And I love health and fitness, but the only thing that was keeping me in San Francisco was my in-person teaching jobs. And so I thought if I left that and went with my other business, which is product-based and a nutrition program and lifestyle, I could do that remotely. So I said, this is happening. So I came back in January and then ended up moving out of my apartment April 16th. So.
And where did you put all your stuff?
I have a storage unit in Auburn and some in my parents' house.
Yes. So that's where I want to talk about bravery. I feel like a lot of people get in the everyday life, and that's safe. And fear is scary. And a lot of people have fear. And to be brave enough to do that and do it alone, I mean, that's huge. How did you get over those insecurities to even broach the subject with yourself to even do that?
I am brave, which is,
yes, you are.
We talked about that because I had a ring that said that, but I recently broke it, which is another story.
Which means she doesn't need it anymore,
right,
because you already are.
I have embodied that.
Yes.
I don't know, I have not been afraid to, I'm an extrovert, so I am comfortable going and just making friends wherever I am. So that's, I think, a big piece of it. I think if you were introverted, there would be other things that might bring up more fear. I think the fear of staying the same was bigger than making the leap. Meaning,
I get that.
I knew I could have, I'm single, and I was single when I left San Francisco, and I said, I could stay in San Francisco and meet a lovely man, and he's gonna have a job downtown, and he's gonna have 3 weeks of vacation a year, and
maybe 2 kids and a dog.
Yeah. And I was like, I just don't want that. I want to be a citizen of the world and be living in different places, and this
Yeah.
is my time now. And if I want to meet somebody and other people, whether it's a romantic partner or just friendships, I want to meet the people who have that fire and who want this adventure too. So the only way I'm going to find them is if I hop on a plane.
Yes, and
Yeah.
be your authentic self,
Right.
and really follow with what you wanted to do.
Right.
And that's where that's such a small percentage of people that do that.
Yes. And I've learned from doing this for now almost 2 years and getting the interaction that I have with people on social media or when I get to talk to them in person, is that pretty much everybody wants to do this to some degree. They want to travel half the year, maybe not leave their house and do any of that, or, sell or anything, but they want to have more vacation. They want to be, when people say, oh, I have 2 days in Paris, what do I see? I'm like, oh,
2 days.
I can't. Like,
yeah,
to me, you have to, I want to
yeah,
sit down, get to know people, get to know the culture, what's in the grocery stores, how do I speak basic language? I don't know, Vietnamese and other places I've been. But yeah, I want to really experience and absorb that culture. So
well, and that's what's interesting, going back to, it's not a vacation. It is a vacation because you're doing what you want to do and you're making the choices. You are running your life in that way. But when Kendra does travel, you immerse yourself in that culture and where you're at. You get your long-term rental. It's so funny, you said you get your gym membership or go to the dance studio, whatever you're gonna do. You want to go to the grocery store. You want to see what that is like. Meet the local people there. What is every day like here? And that's how you truly know that place.
Exactly.
And find more in yourself.
Right.
Just by doing that.
Right.
So now let's go back. So you went to Cabo.
I went to Cabo.
And you did that. You met these digital nomads and you said, I want to do that.
Yes.
What did you do after that?
So while I was still in Cabo, I actually found a company, and there are several of them, who curate trips for nomads. And so they'll be in any place for a month or 2 months, coordinate housing for people, coordinate a professional workspace to go to, help with things like SIM cards for your phone, and they have all sorts of resources for what you need as it's a traveler, but it's a different type of traveler. So we're thinking long term, like health insurance. What do you do?
So they're like the liaison with basically how you do that, which is great, because some people say, well, I want to do that, but I don't even know where to start. So there's companies that do that. I want to bring up this point because this could have been an obstacle and you could have stopped. So you made a deposit with a company that does this. Talking a good chunk of money.
Deposit.
Yes, that she had saved to do this. They go out of business.
Right along with my deposit.
Yeah, money gone.
And several other, probably 100 other people too.
Yeah, so you want to travel, what you had saved for that deposit for this big, long, basically to start your journey, start your life the way you want to live it, gone. But you didn't let that stop you.
No, and it happened 2 days after I moved out of my rent-controlled apartment in San Francisco. And I was back in the city finishing up some classes, and I was at a cafe and I read the email of, so sorry, but we're closed. And I had this moment where I was like, oh no, now I'm homeless.
Freak out.
Luckily I have mom and dad to always come home to, but it was, I have no plan now. I have no plan. So I was already going to go down to Southern California for a month before I left. So I just continued on with that, and then ended up going to Seattle and Portland, where I have friends, kind of just
figuring out I lost my deposit, my plan, so I'm going to do, that was a road trip.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So no flying, no. Just, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do it again. You find these companies that offer this service.
I found another great company called Hacker Paradise, which I will plug all the time because
Hacker
Paradise. They were smart enough to offer a deal for those of us who got
dumped.
Yeah, dumped by the other company. And so I actually went, starting in September, I went to Croatia. I stayed 6 weeks in Split, Croatia with them. And then with that group, there was, a handful of us that then went down to Cape Town, South Africa for 6 weeks. So my first 2 locations were supported by a Hacker Paradise, and one that just gave me my training wheels, which is what I tell people is, sure, you can totally go out and do it and figure out yourself, but it's just so much more comforting to have that support, and you have the community. And that's been so valuable for the rest of my travels and my future, because over the course of those 2 trips, I was probably 50 or 60 people that came through, because you don't have to stay the whole time, you can stay in short. So tons of people who are some version of Nomad. Sometimes people will just take a couple trips a year and then go home, but some people are constantly on the move. So now I have this global network and a Slack channel with all these people and friendships that I can say who's going to be where. Where's the best city in Vietnam to stay? Where's the cheapest place in, like whatever thing you're looking for.
Well, and having that community is big.
Huge.
Yes.
And now I'm to the point where, like in Bali, it was amazing. I was in Bali for October and November for 2 months, and I had probably 10 good friends that I knew from before, friends that I really had a connection with that I was looking forward to seeing, and that's a lot for a nomad,
That's huge.
And then met a good handful more, and so for now, it's like people ask, where am I going? And I said, well, I have some invitations and I know where some friends are going to be, and that's pretty much where I'm going to go. Because sure, I could go to wherever and just be by myself and start that anew, but that's the downside of being a nomad, is that you don't have the closer friendships and connections that you do in your hometown or whatever town you've been in. So that's definitely something I'm continuing on with.
Yeah, so if someone's thinking about this, you would recommend going with, let's plug the company again.
Hacker Paradise.
Hacker Paradise. And that really gave you your feet to do this.
Correct.
A good foundation.
Good foundation. Yes. Yeah.
I was dying to take a drink. I'm sorry I had to.
It's so delicious.
It's so delicious. Mine's a dirty chai.
And mine's with oat milk.
Yeah. Well, I got the oat milk.
Oh, did you?
It's still dirty.
Okay, good.
Okay, so what do you regret this decision that you made?
Do I in general? No, I never regret.
No,
pretty much anything.
Do you ever think, well, what if I would have? Who wants to live in the what if?
No,
you don't want to.
I don't.
That's bad energy, anyways. That what if will? No, can't do it.
Right.
So, what has traveling taught you about yourself?
Again, because I already knew that I liked travel, and I think really getting to know people from other cultures. And so I was in Vietnam for about 4 months last spring, and got to have a couple good Vietnamese friendships, but then it's also friends with all the other nomads, the expats who are from around the world. So you can really, like at my birthday in Bali, we had, a few Italians, an Irish guy, Frenchman, a couple Brits, a woman from Brazil, and it's like, and here we're all around a table, and I think that is a lot of it.
So valuable.
Making fun of each other's words and languages, especially the Brits, they have funny words. But and then learning about each other's, down to the boring stuff about insurance and healthcare, stuff that
everyday human life,
right?
And what they do, and there's how many ways to do it, and everyone on Earth is doing the same thing, maybe different, but that would be so interesting, and also put your life into perspective, meeting and seeing the different ways.
And I think, without getting any political here, but when I was in South Africa, and most of their Uber drivers were from Zimbabwe, and they had their economy completely collapse, I don't know how many years ago. And we were talking about their leaders and their dictators and all the stuff that was going on, and then they say, well, what's going on with your country? And you're like, and I think from a general thing about America is that because pop culture movies and music.
Uh-huh.
That pop culture from the U.S. is the leading pop culture around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, you have, you know, Korean pop and other things that come, you know, that are prevalent. But that is definitely why people have their eyes on us. Well, one of the reasons is because they know Americans through movies and music.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't mean that, you know, our whole, oh, we're the best country and we're in this and that. It's like, no, we are just trying to figure it all out like everybody else.
So they know us through our pop stars.
Yes.
That's like scary.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, but people do know about our politics too, because there's just more attention on us. So that's a weird.
Maybe because it's like you can't write better headlines really with what's going on. I mean, it almost doesn't seem real. Right. That we're going through everything that we are right now in the way that we are. Right. That's hilarious.
So definitely seeing us Americans through the lens of other people and cultures is really eye-opening and humbling, which it should be.
Yes.
We all of us Americans need to be humbled in that regard, I believe.
Now, what about kindness in all the different cultures?
I think that's universal.
Yeah.
That's human.
Yeah.
I think. You know, it's funny, I hear that like, oh, the Balinese are so friendly. You know, oh, okay, and yes, they are. And then when you go someplace, oh, and the people are so great. People say that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if you stop and get to know them, not just order your food and your English and not try to, you know, if you really are trying to connect with these humans, no matter if they're serving you or, you know, right?
I try to do that here. I mean, wherever, if I'm ordering, that's such a great opportunity. I'm the one that if you're in front of me at the checkout, I'm probably gonna start talking to you, whether you want to or not.
Me too. That's why we like each other.
Yeah, I know. Like blah blah blah. And I mean, that's the best stuff, though. Like I've learned so many things just by doing that, or just someone will be like, you know what, my day was terrible, and then just tell you all this stuff, and you're like, oh. Okay, let's work through this. Right. You know, I mean, it's just about human kindness and talking to people, and we've become a society where it's very, your nose is in your phone, you're just so self-consumed, that opportunities are missed all the time.
Absolutely.
And opportunity for that contact and just being a human to people is missed.
Right. And I think that's where, you know, the term of ugly American, it can really be any culture, but Americans tend to isolate themselves more on a trip. You know, they go out and you can be the 5-star fancy traveler, or you can be a budget traveler. It doesn't matter about that. What matters is, you know, are you really connecting and interested in the culture? If not, go to a resort in Hawaii. Yeah. Or, you know, go to some.
That's such a good point about Americans being isolating themselves. I totally see that. Yeah. That makes sense. That's really missing the point. Right. But maybe it's because they only get there 2 weeks a year or whatever.
Right. So this is me. I'm going to have my cocktails. I'm going to have
Don't talk to me. I always think, and this is so scary, I always think of, oh my gosh, our world's turning into WALL-E. Have you ever seen that movie? Yeah. Especially in health and wellness. Oh, I always think next there's going to be these chairs. No one's talking to nobody anymore.
Oh, I saw part of an episode of AI, the docu-series on Netflix.
Okay, just talking about this with someone yesterday.
It's like a horror movie, but not blood horror.
Yes,
like
that's exactly what he said.
Mental horror movie. Yeah. It is 1984 Big Brother. Yeah. In real life, like it is actually 100% that way in China, and it's, you know, all the things that we tell Siri to do and Google to do and Alexa to do, and
that is a whole other conversation.
It's a whole other interview, but I'm not the expert, but it's like, yeah,
I heard about this yesterday, talking about it. I've read a lot about this. There's I'm totally going blank, and I just feel so lame for going blank on this. Tesla. Who created, what was his name?
Oh, Elon Musk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I listened to a podcast he was on. And he was talking about how he's been, even though he's come up with this car that drives itself, you know, he's contributing to AI, but how scary we should be.
Yeah.
How scared we should be. And I mean, I was just blown away listening to his interview. I was just like, oh my goodness. It truly is. It goes down to the human brain and stuff. That's a whole other thing. But yeah.
Kind of to bring it back, I think I was in a seminar this last weekend, and you can say this in many different ways, but what the leader was saying was all humans want more joy and less pain. And I think when you look at all of the cultures in the world, and again, even if they're rich societies or poor societies, the bottom line is people want more joy and less pain.
Yeah.
And you know, yes, do you have more of a risk of being burglarized or, you know, things being stolen from you in a poorer country? Yes, because they are suffering and they want more joy. Are they going to overcharge the Americans or the white people or wherever you are? Probably, but that's their way of getting a step up in the world. So sometimes you have to, you know, it got irritating in Vietnam that you'd go to a food cart but this was the difference. The locals would pay 50 cents and you would, you know, I would pay $1 or maybe $1.50. So yeah, that's 3 times what the local price is. So it can feel a little insulting if you let it, but then you also have to step back and realize, you know, I just spent $5 on this one wonderful chai, and we're used to that here. So why am I scoffing about a beautiful bowl of pho soup that costs me 50 more cents than, you know?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I think keeping that lens helps. Yeah.
Well, and you're a smart traveler, and you don't travel with your jewelry.
Correct.
Yeah. So you're not making those to become a target.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and did you just read about that? Did your group help you learn like tips and?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely some kind of traveler basics, but I have a travel whole set of jewelry that I wear, and when I come home I get to glitz it up a little bit. Yeah.
So what is your most valuable tool, lesson, or something you take away from your traveling thus far? Most valuable. If you could even put that into words.
Yeah, I mean it definitely is the culture, but one idea that I've mulled over before is doing, and there are probably many things like this, nonprofits to help young people travel, and whether that's a summer trip to even Mexico, it doesn't have to be super far, or a semester in a different place, or things that young people do. The more we can achieve that, and the more we can help the 16 to 25-year-olds get out of their little town and city that they've been in,
bubble.
We wouldn't be in the political situation that we're in now, and then in other countries are in, if people truly understood what the world was all about and how we are all the same. And so that is definitely in my okay, when it's time for me to really to grab on how I can help people, that's what I want to do.
I feel a really good nonprofit coming on here, or something. Yes. Or a business venture. Yeah, I think that's very true. Especially where we are today with the younger generation. I think that would be huge impact on us Americans. For sure.
And I can say on a more personal level that I think finding routine, and that's why I talk about joining a gym and doing.
Yeah, actually, I forgot that. I was going to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Is the more you can set up routine, and my little super close crew that I travel with, they make fun of me because I go to bed early. I'll go out and I'll have a couple drinks, and then 10 o'clock rolls around and I'm like,
time.
all right, everybody, you guys have fun.
Yeah.
And that part of that just helps that I get my sleep, I get up, I do my workout, I do my reading, whatever things that you want. And the more you can hold on to those routines, it doesn't matter where you are. I just stayed at a friend's house in Brisbane in San Francisco, near San Francisco, and you know, before I came to her house, I went to the grocery store and loaded up on stuff for my protein shakes and my breakfast, and I just jump right in there and start making my own food. You know, so I'm not at the mercy of what my host is. I mean, no, the more you communicate that sort of stuff, but yeah, that way I don't feel like I'm being derailed. I don't let myself get derailed because I know this is what I need to do to keep my life functioning in a happy way and progressing towards my goals. So
that's awesome. That's so true. I love that. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Just goes down to just a morning protein shake. Right. It's true. Right. Taking care of yourself, self-reliant, routine. I never would have thought about that, I guess, until I was in that situation. Right. Yeah. Right. Wow. Okay, so I want to go on forever, but I need to wrap up a little bit here. Yes. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yes. So name off all the places you've been to. So far.
Yes. So Split, Croatia. And these are places that I've set up shop. Cape Town, South Africa. Hoi An, Vietnam. Absolutely amazing. I spent a few weeks in Cambodia, but did more just traveling, kind of 1 week here at each place. And then I was in Canggu, Bali, and then I went to Japan and Hawaii, but those were just shorter stops on my way home.
I loved all your pictures from Bali. I was dying.
It's an Instagram
heaven. It's just everything's beautiful.
Right.
I'm like, I want to be there with that coffee or whatever you're drinking, and the food. Oh,
Bali, I have described to people as it's a utopia. I mean, it's a utopia just based on the island and the jungle and the beaches. So there's that. But what has made Bali the destination is that surfers and yogis from around the world have come to this island and created their utopia. So there are amazing yoga studios and cafes that are all gluten, dairy, soy free, which is, I mean, that's, you're speaking to me.
You're speaking to me. Speaking my language.
But the problem with that though is that you're not experiencing Indonesian culture, at least when you're in the real popular towns. So it's wonderful, but I still say out of the ones that I've been so far, Vietnam is my favorite because I felt like I got to integrate a little bit more into what real life is like there. And Bali
was a vacation for the vacationer.
Yeah.
Sounds fun though. What an experience.
I would go back, so it's not like
I'm like, I think I need to go back to do that one.
Right, sounds right.
I would do yoga every single day.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's amazing.
I love that.
And the heat. That's why I'm all bundled up, is because I'm
still
used to 90 degrees.
Although we're sitting next to a heater, but we don't have to turn it on. I don't know. Okay, so what is a hidden talent you have?
Oh, a hidden talent.
Or something like a little odd about yourself or interesting. Well, you're all interesting.
Oh,
so.
Thank you.
Do you have a hidden talent besides being an amazing dancer?
If I was to say dancing, I don't really hide that talent.
And you dance everywhere though.
I try to dance every place that I go.
Like, where were you? Again, I don't remember. You were at a studio dance. Was it maybe in Bali?
I don't know, but Japan is where.
No, it was Japan.
It
was Japan.
Kicked my
You were
ass.
killing it. Was it like hip hop? Was it what was it?
They were the other dancers. I was the only white girl, by the way, in the entire studio.
But you held your own.
Yeah. I really had to work hard.
You did though, and I love that though. They look like you were having the best time.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
To go to the oh my gosh, I'd love to do that. All the different dance studios.
Yeah.
So your hidden talent's not so hidden.
And
you're an amazing dancer.
Like strange and
I mean, I would say you probably don't collect like bottle caps because, or rocks.
No.
You have to carry them.
I don't.
So,
right. I'm much more of a minimalist than before.
What about crystals?
I haven't really people have given me crystals and I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to put these in my pockets. But I haven't really
gotten into
that. Yeah.
Okay, what is a favorite type of music, band, or song?
I listen to electronic dance music all day, every day. Sometimes
Okay, so that's
Is that strange to do?
I love it.
Yeah, literally. I actually did a healthy happy hour event in San Francisco a couple nights ago, and while I was at a bar, so I knew that there was going to be background noise,
Yeah.
but there was rock and roll playing, and that's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
But
And so I was
electronic dance music all
No,
day, every day is your jam. That's so funny.
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's
I even texted the manager because he's my friend. I said, "Can you change the music? Because I'm literally like about to lose my mind."
So you just need that beat.
I just need that beat. Right. Right.
So much fun. Okay, I think we have to wrap up.
We do.
I'm so
We do.
sad.
Thank
I'm
you for
so
staying
sad.
with us.
Thank you so much for watching Placer County Home Whisperer with Kendra. Awesome. So much fun. When are you leaving next?
I don't know. Probably June is when I'll take off. I think to Europe.
Oh, okay. So some time.
Yes.
So who knows? Maybe you'll see her around, or we'll have her
Maybe.
on again, or maybe I'm gonna have to meet her in Bali and do some yoga. We don't know.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.